So in our marketing, we're building on existing research and insights as they emerge, and we're developing a really clear reason for people to actually visit the region. We already have a huge amount of good things in Suffolk, but at the moment, as we talked about earlier, they're just sitting in silos. So rather than creating something new, we want to bring together and unite what's already happening in the region, particularly in that shoulder season, where we really know that we have to grow tourism. And we found that that period is actually packed with queues that we can build around. From the grape harvest starting to autumn migrations, Albury Food and Drink Festival, book festivals, as well as national moments like Eat Local Day. All of these things that we can bring together, we can just group them under one big idea that just gives visitors a shared reason to come at that period. And these events are really appealing to our key audience of pre-nesters, those 22 to 44-year-old people who are that engine of domestic tourism. They're spending more on short breaks and they're taking more of them, and they're doing that out of season. They're experience driven, they're story seeking, and they book outside of those key periods. They're actively looking for some of those quieter, more meaningful stays that we have in absolute abundance in the Suffolk Coast. So this autumn, we're inviting people to gather in Suffolk, to pick grapes, taste wine, discover festivals and stargaze under big skies with loved ones, to really reconnect with the season, the land and each other. So Gather works on lots of different levels. Of course, it speaks to people coming together, but it also picks up on the harvest, on food, on stories, on culture and on nature. And there's a particularly strong foodie element in there, and that ties in really nicely to investments that have already been made around looking at the food and drink offering here, as we talked about earlier. And when we're designing this, we've actually used a key asset from the Naturally campaign, that speech bubble here, and it holds our campaign line and it communicates that feeling of sharing. And we've adapted that little dot in the eye of Suffolk to be more of a location marker. So it not only locks in the idea to the region here, but it also lets us just highlight particular places or particular businesses that we're featuring in the campaign. I think it's really important that everything that we do in the region really tells the same story. So we've been very careful as we've been working with Gather to design it to build on that regional place brand of Naturally. So we're using shared typography, colour palette, the graphic element that I spoke about earlier, as well as a real look and tone that can just sit comfortably within that Naturally world. And Gather links in very well to an upcoming LVEP campaign, which is Home of the Harvest. And it gives us a lot of consistency, but also flexibility, so we can tell our own chapter of our own story, while still laddering up to that bigger regional narrative. We're also aligning with Greater Anglia, who have their Run London campaign, and that's going to be live with a budget of £1 million during our campaign period. So we've synced our media approach up with theirs and have brought some key elements into our messaging. So it really is going to be something we collaborate on in terms of shared itineraries, shared competition elements, and just making sure, again, that everything really builds one upon another. But we've got a picture of some Russian dolls here, and this is how we're seeing the regional campaigns working together. We have Naturally, that is our big regional narrative. It's the bigger story of Suffolk and Norfolk. Then we have Home of the Harvest. That will be the regional seasonal campaign. And now we have Gather in Suffolk. This is our campaign for the Suffolk Coast and our conversion platform. And all the brilliant events and experiences that we talked about earlier, those are the actual offer that we have on the ground. So we're really trying to create a system here where each layer has a role and really supports the next one, but ultimately we're creating the same picture in people's minds. Now, I've just got a short film here that I think is really helpful to see because it shows how we've locked Gather into the location. And you can see how businesses and attractions could adapt this. So in our